So I think to be an effective leader, first and foremost, you need to ensure that you can build trust across the organization. And trust comes from knowing what you're talking about, but also operating in a way that is transparent and lets the team feel like they're a part of everything that you're doing and building together. I think that what makes a great leader, the qualities of that are pretty similar across genders, but I think that men and women sometimes are naturally better at certain things than other things.
Give me an example.
Yeah, so for example, I think that women by nature have a superpower of being more empathetic, of being able to read people and situations, to adapt more fluidly to situations, to connect with people, I think in a more meaningful way from the beginning. I think that men typically have a way of garnering respect quicker. They can have a stronger, bigger presence that can maybe fill up a room in a quicker way. I think that at the end of the day, men and women can get to the same place, but the path sometimes looks a little bit different, and the skills that you have to lean into are often a little bit different to get to the end result, which is strong leadership, connecting with your team, inspiring them, making them feel a part of the journey that you're on together.
You set me up nicely for my next question, which is around, as a seasoned leader, what advice would you give to your young self starting out?
I think trust yourself. Really trust yourself and trust your gut and your instincts and be true to those things from the very beginning. I think that it's easy to get pulled astray and it's easy to question yourself. I think especially as a female leader and a female navigating the complex industry that this is. We have an extra voice inside of our head, I think, questioning ourselves a bit more. So what I've learned, having been in this industry now for over 20 years and having navigated a lot of really complex situations and built different businesses and teams, is that typically my instincts are right. It took a while for me to listen to them all the time, but I pretty much do now.
I have to just say yes to everything you said, and I agree. In my own professional experience, I think all of that is absolutely true, and trusting your instincts is a big part of that.
Yeah.
But believing in them is a part of it.
Yeah.
So maybe relatedly, nobody gets to this place without sometimes feeling like there's a target on their back, or they feel like they're on shaky ground. So have you had an experience like that, and how did you navigate it?
Yes, I have. I think that you would be lying if you haven't had those moments in this industry in particular. It's so dynamic. It's changing all the time. In order to stay ahead and have an edge in things, you have to really move at a fast pace. For me personally, a specific moment was when I moved. I grew up at Turner Broadcasting. I spent almost 15 years there growing in my career. And when I made the leap to ad tech, that was a real shaky ground that I was standing on. Going from a place where I felt like I knew everything and I knew everyone, to jumping into a part of the industry that everyone spoke a different language than I did. And I jumped into it while also taking on a leadership position. So there were people around me that technically knew more about things than I did. So having to have some vulnerability, being open to learning from people around you, knowing that you don't always have to be the smartest person in the room to be an effective leader. I learned a lot through that shaky time period, but it was definitely a challenging one to navigate, but an important one of the most important moves that I made in my career.
I love that. I mean, it's about believing that you can take calculated risks as well, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, looking forward a little bit, we have a new generation of leaders that are in the workforce. They will become the leaders of tomorrow, and they want a different kind of contract with their employers. Work-life balance, a greater sense of purpose from the companies that they work for, measurable diversity. So how do you model the behavior that tomorrow's leaders are looking for to sort of set them up to be successful as leaders?
Yeah. So I think first and foremost, when you're running any type of organization, it's important to create a culture of excellence, right? We're here to do a job together. We're here to provide value to our company, our clients, and our employees. Beyond that, in order to bring out the very best in people, people need to feel safe. They need to feel included. They need to feel like they have a voice in the process. So for me, creating a culture that is rooted in this notion of inclusiveness, that people can bring their best self to work every day, their whole self to work every day, I think is an important one, because when people are thinking that way, they're more connected to each other and they're building and doing more beautiful things together. I think above and beyond that, we are in a world now where people expect more flexibility. And I think that there's many ways to do the job effectively. And as long as, if you've set the bar of excellence, you've created a culture that is inclusive and you provide an atmosphere that allows for flexibility so people can work hard and live a beautiful life at the same time. When you put all of those things together, you can build, I think, a culture and an environment that can really achieve great things together.